Acting 101 is a monthly podcast that is supported entirely by our supporters on Patreon. Some of our members got this about 5 days ago and with an extra 20 minutes worth of content. But otherwise, you can also get the show completely ad-free there. Or at the very least, just help us continue making this very independent, totally sponsorship-free show. Regardless, we hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks for watching.
Did either of you do I think these have become popular from what I can tell from TikTok, like erotic audiobook stuff? Is that something you would do?
Yes.
Great.
Are you serious?
So. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
How do you feel about it?
My clip this, keep this, whatever. My dream for 2025, people are like, what do you want to achieve in 2025? I recently went to PAX East and I twice wore a t-shirt. I interviewed Greg Miller in a t-shirt that was a Silas girl dinner t-shirt from Love and Deepspace. I then also wore it again when I did the Warframe panel because I want to be the voice of the next character in a game called Love and Deepspace, which is an Atomy game where basically you can have lovely relationships with the boys. And I would like to be one of the boys that you can have a relationship with. Love and Deepspace hire me. I'm not this kind of person.
Do they? I don't know. I'm not familiar with this series. Do they?
Love and Deepspace?
Yeah. Like what?
Have a quick Google.
Well, I know you're in Date Everything.
I am in Date Everything, but that's different. I play a door. I want to play a boy.
A dateable boy, yeah.
A dateable boy.
Yeah.
Because
oh, wow.
Silas is a dragon as well. He's got dragon parts to him.
Which parts?
I think I'd like to be Will. And I really want to kind of be like a sexy British librarian who was also maybe like a dangerous owl.
That sounds good.
I've created a whole character.
Yeah.
Love and Deepspace.
You're hired. Yeah, let me look it up.
Oh, shit.
Fuck yeah, let's
go.
go.
Wow, dude, it's that kind of game.
Yeah.
Love and Deepspace.
Get in it.
Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, I see. The
yeah,
boys.
They can track your period.
What?
They can track your they track your cycle.
Like in the game?
Yeah.
Well, feature or a bug? That's crazy.
Absolutely, it's crazy.
Okay.
They just know. They know. The boys know.
Dude, I love this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm obsessed with this.
Abu, if you want to get on that campaign and get in it as well, like I would love to. I think the beauty of this game is that you don't know who voices. I don't think they've announced who voices the characters because they want you to believe that the characters exist and they
exist and who they are. Yeah.
So it's basically like they're just it's a boyfriend simulator.
Yeah, you
basically,
know how Ronaldo is in like Fatal Fury.
I didn't know that.
Deep Space. I would love
Ben Starr, dateable?
Yeah, Ben Starr, and it's just me, just being like, oh little humble.
You don't have ethical issues with that at all?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, because I'd be just kind of charmingly awkward about it.
Okay, that's how girls end up dead. That's you. I think that you should reconsider.
Yeah. How's she dead, Your Honor? Oh, I just charmingly fumbled my way to her death. No.
No, I mean that's how you end up with a serious stalker who murders you. That's how girls end up dead. Is just the phrase that I use. I apologize for misgendering you. That's how Ben ends up dead.
I'm amazed that this is your aim, dude. This is.
I respect it. Well, what's yours then? What's yours then?
Yeah.
We got serious aims.
Out of the dragon.
Now that you've asked me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is my.
Is he playing it? Are you playing it right now?
This is my. Yeah. Well, I was about to.
Tapping on the boys.
I was literally. Okay. This is my goal, or my like dream goal of game to be in. Let me think. Probably. You know what? Probably. It would have to be, I'm obsessed with DC, this DC game, the DC Legion game, the mobile DC Legion game.
Okay.
And they've got like these, they've got some really cool characters on it, right? And like it's pretty well done. I think and it's weird, like I think I'd like to be in a mobile game. I think there's something quite charming about it. Being in someone's pocket and like, voicing something in someone's pocket. Like I kind of like it. So like, being a superhero, because I don't want to be in a DC film. I think that's just like lame.
Yeah,
but like
no one wants that.
You know what I mean? Like, and like an animated show would be really cool, but I think I've got to wait a bit. So I wouldn't mind being in a DC Legion game.
Okay, so a wild thing has just happened to me.
Yes, go ahead.
Go on.
My headphone bud has come out and it's stuck in my ear.
No.
I think you might die.
Yeah.
No, that's dangerous.
Well, I should get it out, but I don't want to do it anymore.
I think this
Otherwise,
is the
it's
end for you.
No.
This is it.
Oh, it seems like it's moving in like quicksand.
Oh,
Never mind.
don't do that. Oh my god.
No,
Dude,
I'm
seriously?
actually like a little queasy
You
about.
should get tweezers.
I think you should get tweezers.
Yeah.
Yay,
You got it out.
Ben,
Good man.
yay.
You're safe.
In any case,
yeah.
I think mobile game is a very interesting one. You were the lead of an Assassin's Creed game, and Ben
Yeah,
was
but
the
it's
lead
not
of a
the same
Final
though,
Fantasy
innit?
game, and you're like,
It's
I
not the
want
same.
people to date me in their pocket.
Well, this is it.
I like it.
I mean, that's pretty good. I think that's
Yeah.
great. Love
Yeah.
Deepspace. You've changed my life, man.
It's a genuine thing. I will gladly debase myself.
Honestly.
And
Have you
say in
thought
front of
about
people,
like sending them your reel? Because surely you could.
I don't. Do you want to? I don't have a reel.
I don't either.
I don't have a reel. I'm just like, I don't know, play games. No, I don't have a reel. I don't have a reel. Is that really bad of me? Well, this is a podcast where we're meant to be like, you have a reel. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
You know what? Exactly. I was going to say, like, this is supposed to inspire actors. I don't think this is inspiring at all.
I want to be in Love and Deepspace. I don't have a reel. I'm just hoping that some company's going to give me.
Oh, okay, Ben. Record the reel for this.
Okay, I'll do it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, hello. Hello. Is that a boob? Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
What?
We can workshop
No,
that.
it would be like, it would just,
You wanna be-
I don't know if you've seen it. They're really sexy.
They are
They're
really
so
sexy.
sexy.
I
And honestly,
disagree.
they're
They're
like, oh,
pretty
my
sexy.
lady, I love you. I would be like a tortured, oh, this is what it was. He's a tortured librarian who's also a gargoyle. Who kind of like,
buddy, you're really ready for this.
Wait, hang on. Do these games have like supernatural elements?
yes, they do.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, this game is everything.
I
And
was definitely sexually attracted to Sephiroth as a child, and I think I'm getting some of those vibes here. So I get it.
Yeah, I feel like they have a very particular type that they have, and I think I can bring something different to the team. For people who don't feel like they're being serviced.
Maybe we should just make our love in Deepspace.
Yeah,
You guys want to get
Maybe
together
we-
and
yeah.
make a dating mobile game
Maybe. Yeah.
with
Why
our
not?
powers combined?
just make a mobile.
You've
game
got a game
that-
studio. We could do that.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
All right. Yeah.
I think we could do that. I think this is. There you go. Rule like
Making games is easy, right?
Notoriously. It would be very fun to write. It would be really fun
Right?
to write something like this. Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Are
on
we
board.
going to do this?
I you know what? I want to do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We have famously between us loads of time, so
Yeah.
we should absolutely do it.
We don't have trouble scheduling this at all. So
This is the easiest thing to schedule in the world.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Abu,
Wow.
Can you do
Honestly.
me a favour? Can you do me a
Yeah,
favour?
mate.
Show us your BAFTA. So
You
close
ready?
to him as well. So close to him.
Congratulations. We spoke about it last episode, but you weren't here. How's
Did
that
you
how's
really?
that feel?
Oh.
Of course we
Yeah, yeah.
did.
It's weird. It really is weird.
In
like,
what way?
And I in a way that like it's so funny in the sense that you get nominated, it's nice, it's good, and actually it's great. When you win it, it's like, oh, okay. And now it's like everything I do
You're a BAFTA
has
winner.
to be better. It's like
Oh.
the pressure of like, okay,
Oh.
now I really have to do something good. It's like it's interesting.
That's
but
terrible.
The thing is, but you know what? I do feel. I think the pressure is only felt amongst peers rather than necessarily like to the public. Like I don't think the public give a fuck, really, truly. Like I do feel like in the sense that it's really within peers of like, okay, now you've won this. All right, well, this next game has got to do better, and you're like,
Okay, so I promise that even your peers aren't thinking that way. Your peers are thinking, fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. Look at that thing you made. They're not doing that to you. But I understand you're
I am.
conscious, except for Ben, you're conscious of how your peers feel now because you feel like you're like part of a whole other tier kind of thing.
I think it's maybe this is just the artistic element of it, of like feeling like, okay, now you've just got to do better. I think that, and that's just kind of the competitive element in nature as well of like of myself, but also I feel like there is this Yeah, it's weird. I think also this is very much because of the category it was, that we won in, and the journey that we went through with that game. I feel like obviously there's a lot less pressure in regards to like, oh, it's not like, the best game or whatever. Like there is something meaningful about it, right? And I think that helps. However, the feeling of like winning an award, I guess it's like the best way I can equate it to is like, that feeling when you audition for a job, you get the job, and for like 15 seconds when they say we'd love to give you the role, you're like, amazing, oh, that's so great. And then after 15 seconds you're like,
oh shit, I have a job to do.
Now I'm gonna make this job. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, oh wow, congratulations, we're giving you this award, well done, you won the BAFTA. And you're like, oh, amazing, thank you so much. And then you're like, oh man, now I've got to make something really good.
Are you finding that like, inspirational, or like, are you taking it as a negative or a positive?
I think it's like a bit of both. I think there is definitely a sense of like the negative elements, I think, are just like the sense of the pressure and feeling like, okay, now I've got to really do something special. Mm-hmm. The positives are, oh shit, people are actually looking at us and seeing what we're making. And it's funny because, again, like, this is the thing with this industry and with this world. It's like the amount of times that you hear people say, hey man, really liked your game, it was really good, or like it really moved me, or it really connected with me. It does help, and it sticks. But then there's always that one person who's like, yeah, it was all right. And that is just like the loudest. And you're like, great. Yeah. Oh no, I did it wrong. I did everything wrong. So it's very funny. But yeah, it is a lovely, I mean, honestly, on the night, it was amazing because I had no idea. Like, I genuinely was like, and I wasn't, you kind of get a sense of like how well your game is going to do depending on all the other awards previously.
Sure. And
you kind of get an idea.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I know the BAFTAs are notoriously different because they just behave differently. Like some of the, some of the wins come out like we won the same amount of awards as Balatro that night. Isn't that crazy?
Have either of you been on jury for the BAFTA?
I have. Have you been?
Yes.
No.
Have you never?
I've not been. No.
I thought you said have you been, but you said have you been.
Oh, sorry.
Have you been?
Have you? So you've been on a jury?
I have, yeah.
What for?
Narrative, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe they asked me to do narrative, and then I couldn't because it was the year that Cyberpunk came out, and I wasn't allowed to. So I think I actually ended up doing debut game.
Okay. But you've been in the juries, right?
Correct.
They're interesting, aren't they?
They're very different to every other jury. I don't know how many I've been on at this point. I've done most of them. And the BAFTAs is the most serious. Like the BAFTAs, you have to play all the games and you have a Zoom call. Well, we did because it was during COVID that I did it. But we all sit on call. True, people are in different places. You sit on it and you have to talk about every single game, and people argue. Like the one I was in, some of those people were mean. Like people were vicious about their opinions, and then you hear everybody out, you give all your opinions, you fully debate, and then you vote. And none of the others are that extensive, but it's also because they usually have unique people on the juries. I think there's some overlap, but like I only did one category. I think that a big part of the BAFTAs, what makes the awards all unique, is that you're picking people generally who have experience in that category. That's why I was originally supposed to be narrative before I had to be moved over, who aren't necessarily on any of the other awards. So you're getting like kind of little expertise vacuums, which means that there isn't so much of a sweep with the BAFTAs, kind of like you're saying, because the juries are just like structured from such a different perspective. Whereas like the Game Awards, we'd literally just send in a number. You just send off a number. You don't have any conversation with anyone. Yeah, super different.
So I guess that's the thing. I think it was on the night. It was, what was really lovely actually on the night. It was amazing because I think the people around, and I especially remember you, Ben, because you're dressed as a fucking clown, like cheering.
Yeah, I was really loud when you won.
It was beautiful, and I think like that's the thing. I think like that was definitely a moment of like being surrounded by like loved ones and being like, you know, and winning in that space.
Yeah.
I think that was really cool. That was really, really cool. You know, what was supposed to be just like another kind of, because I've done, you know, I've been to the BAFTA Awards quite a few times now, and like they're all right, they're fine, they're good, you know, it's good fun. To then, you know, to be in that kind of position or that space where you didn't even, you know, you're nominated obviously, but then you win something. That was lovely, and I think that celebration was lovely. But yeah, it definitely doesn't.
You won like in front of
away.
family rather than just winning.
Yeah, you know, and I think like
cool.
that's the thing, and I think that was what was really, really cool about it. But yeah,
for anyone who maybe doesn't know, what award did you win and what game was it for?
So it was Game Beyond Entertainment, and it was for Tales of Kenzera Zal. And essentially, yeah, the Beyond Entertainment really is kind of recognizing games that speak to you on a different level. It connects to you as on a very human level. Yeah. Kind of feels relatable to real life circumstances or anything like that. So yeah, to win an award in that, especially after everything that happened, it feels really, really cool.
Is like the best thing that you could ask for is to like have your goal as a director be recognized in exactly the thing you were intending to have it recognized for, right? That's good direction.
Yeah.
They took exactly what you wanted from it, and that's good direction. And that's your first game, dude. That's crazy.
I know. And that's also scary.
Yeah, what? I get it. What now? Mean? Fuck me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Totally.
But I know, but it feels good though. It does feel really, really cool. And yeah, it's definitely and I'll be honest with you, like I think after last year, I was ready to just basically like pack it in.
Yeah.
I was like done, man. I was like, because I think it is, the industry is really rough and really brutal, and I think especially last year was just really rough and really brutal. Yeah. Like on the dev side, like it's just, and like I think not to say like the award has made me stick to it. I know for a fact that as a being as myself, I just couldn't do that. I will continue to make games and I'll continue to tell stories, but I was really like down and out, and then to like win this and like, or even just as I say, like the nomination and being, you know, recognized, but then winning it has just like been like actually, you know what, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah,
it's that recognition.
Yeah,
and I think like that's what's been really, really helpful. And I always say that as well. I always say like it's always good to, especially when it's with other people, if you're moved by a performance, or you know if you like something, always recognize it, because you don't know how it may affect someone.
I could probably be better at that. I compliment people when I'm talking to them, but I don't go out of my way to do that, and maybe I should do that more. Like just tell people that something they've done is amazing. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, like it's. I mean, like, look, I'm not saying like you literally have to. Don't be that person, because then otherwise you're like, what the fuck do you want from me?
No, like, I think that I could do to tell people more often that I think they're good in something, because like we often tell people behind their backs that they're good in something. Ben and I, before recording, were just talking about how fucking good Jennifer English is in Expedition 33. I could message her and say that, but I haven't. And I'm like, maybe I should just like do that a little more.
And actually, speaking of that, Ben, you are fucking amazing in that game too, dude. Like seriously, Jesus Christ,
it's a very good game.
Thanks. It's you know what's so funny as well. Like I kind of went in not really knowing what to expect, and it is so moving. It is so good. It is so, and like the performances are all on point, and it's matched so well with the animation too. Like it's just like
yeah. I mean on that game, yeah, it's a crazy thing. I think I'm very, very proud. Everyone kind of knew that they were making something special, but I don't think everyone knew that it would be embraced in the way that it's been embraced.
I mean, I've been seeing people talking about crying, really, and like the amount of people I've seen said they cried over this game. I think it speaking of awards, it's definitely going to be very successful come awards time.
I really hope it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs it. I don't think it needs it, but I think it will be, and I would love it for that team, because they have worked so hard for it, and it isn't a fluke, you know. It's because they wanted to make something.
It's work. They wanted to make something. You could see that as well. Like it isn't just like a random magical happenstance. Like they put the time and work, and everyone did. Like everyone did. like from performers to just to the like
environment art. Like,
everything.
It's just fucking gorgeous top to bottom. It is it, and it. Oh man, like I'd love to. I haven't finished it, but I'd love to like chat about it more when I have. In that, I think that's one of those ones where every single department feels like they had full creative control, and that you see every single department firing on all cylinders. And I don't think there's sometimes like restrictions where that kind of thing is concerned. But it's like everybody brought a unique creative aspect. How strong the music is next to how strong the environment art is, next to how strong the enemy design is, next to how strong the voice acting is. They're all distinct, cohesive, but so fucking strong. And sometimes you can have, you know, a certain game that comes out that because of the story they're telling, they need the environment art to be realistic or the enemy design to be a really particular way. And that can like kind of hold creativity back in some ways, even if it serves the greater good. But Expedition 33 is just like creative bliss in every category. It is a very good game.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just a very weird experience to be on the end of something that has been so, not universally, but pretty extensively, you know, praised for the work across all of it. And I feel great because I feel like I've maybe been gaslighting myself for like 2 years, thinking I think this game's really good, and then it was a stage before Christmas.
Tell when you're making it, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, and I'm going, I think this is amazing, but I thought there had to be a catch because there's no way it can be this good. And I remember going to Montpellier at Christmas. Jen and I flew out to Montpellier and spent Christmas with the team, and had like, we surprised them in the manor. We turned up and they all kind of came down the stairs at the Von Trapp kids.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they have a manor.
Yeah, they have a manor. It's a manor. And Minoko the dog is like the cutest thing you've ever seen.
Amazing.
And yeah, I remember then just thinking, I watched all the cut sequences and I just convinced myself that it wasn't going to be as good as I'd hoped.
Wow.
And it's a weird mentality because it looked great. So I convinced myself after seeing how great it looked, I went, it won't be. And then a lot of people were coming up to me after the previews and being like, I've heard it's amazing. I've heard it's amazing. And I went, yeah, just get your hopes. I think it's going to be, I genuinely said to myself, I think it's going to be a 7 out of 10, you know, some people are going to really love it. And some people are going to really hate it.
Because that's what it should be, considering the size of the studio.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it should have been. It makes sense that you would draw that
It's
conclusion.
not that I didn't have faith in the team. It was just me. It was me checking my expectations genuinely, like, okay. And then people started reviewing it, and I'm very close with a lot of the reviewers, and they would tell me where they're at in the game. And when they get to my character, they were like, oh, and sending me screenshots and stuff and saying how much they love it. And even they went, okay, so maybe it won't be a 7, maybe it'll be like an 82. Because I think the game is such a specific vision, and it's so like, we're making this game and it is creative freedom. And the fact that people get it, I was like, oh, you get it. That's cool. I'm glad. I just expected some people to not. And there are people who don't, and some people who don't jibe with the way that the narrative works out, stuff like that. And that's cool because everyone should be able to have their opinion on it. But I was surprised at how universally it was loved because And so I really
Do you think that you were trying to, like, were you gaslighting yourself negatively? Like, you were being like, it can't be that good. It's probably going to be, because you were like overexcited? Or was it just the process of working on something? Because like, while we were making Ragnarok, I had to play those builds all the fucking time. I had no opinion on the quality of the game by the end. And I remember having a conversation with Mike Bithell about it, where I was like, I have no idea if this game is any good. And he was like, oh, no, that's normal. Don't worry about it. And I was like, is it? And yeah, I had a conversation with our design lead at one point where I was like, I don't know if the thing that I'm making is good. And he was like, everyone goes through that. It's fine. Because you just see it too much.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I don't think I've ever had a gauge on something so confidently. Like it's always waving. You know what I mean? Like I don't like in everything I've done. Yeah. Even like, yeah, it's so hard to.
I've been a part of stuff that I was told it was going to be the greatest thing. I've been burnt so many times. Like being a part of Dickensian when I was just fresh out of drama school. And everyone was like, this is the next big thing. Tony Jordan, BBC drama, 20-part Dickensian thing, big at Christmas. You know, we were in the Radio Times, all of us laid out, this is going to be the BBC's next thing. They spent 25 million on it, and it was going to be like, this is it. All of Dickens's characters in London at the same time. No way. That's going to absolutely be a smash hit. And it was fine. It was fine, and then it got cancelled after a series. And I'd big myself up, and then we moved on to Jamestown and worked together, and it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jamestown is another one, man.
First series was wild because we did it, and we were told we were bigged up. We said, "Makers of Downton Abbey." Then next game, it's about the first settlers in America. This is going to hit. This is going to go straight to HBO. This is going to do all of this stuff, and we started on the second series as the first one was going out, right? And it was like, oh, there's still this buzz around it. So we were working on the second series. Boo and I were working on the second series after the first one had come out, and it was this strange thing where it wasn't it wasn't Downton Abbey. Nothing could be Downton Abbey, but we were told that it would be.
We were told that was going to be, yeah.
And we were our lives were going to change, and we were going to go off to the Emmys and accept all these awards, and we believed it. And I had a lot of years doing that. And even
sorry
even
to interject, do they tell you that as a ploy to get you on board, or is it people genuinely think, like, are you being manipulated, or do they genuinely just think that shit doesn't
hype
stink?
in it when you're in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
not
not
like, well, the rushes are coming in, and this is something special, and I'm seeing some of the dailies. And
so it's just people are collectively excited while making something.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not being tricked.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not, and it was like it was Carnival. They made Downton Abbey, and then they made this, and now they've gone on to make other big smash hit stuff for HBO. But this Jamestown was a hit show. It did really well for Sky. It got good numbers, but we were promised that, and it also happened again in video games, and like that prepped me for when 16 came out. That prepped me for, even though Final Fantasy 16 was going to come out and it was going to do great because it's a Final Fantasy game, I was never ever going to let my dream role pass me by. So that's why when I came out the gates like full force. I'm staying in this industry with everything, because I've had so many promises, so many, this is going to change your life. And I went, well, if that's not going to change my life, I'm going to change my life for myself.
Yeah.
And so I took 16 and I did everything. I traveled all the time. I went everywhere, spoke to everyone, was doing all the talks, was showing people how much I love this franchise and how much I love games. And, I managed to do okay. And it was because of those promises. So Expedition 33, I gaslit myself because I was like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be the hit that I want it to be.
Yep.
And
it was defensive.
Yeah, it was protecting myself.
I got to say, though, dude, you did more than okay on 16, man. You did a very good job on 16.
Not just performance-wise, Ben. What your response was very smart.
Yeah, and and I like both. Yeah, just as a performer as well as like afterwards. Like, in truth, and especially like I think about this as well with actors and video games, and like I genuinely do believe that you've changed the game in regards to performers being taken seriously when it comes to advertising or like promoting a game. I feel like what you did showed developers and publishers, actually more so than anything, that there is merit to putting actors in front of these things and saying, hey, these guys are part of this project and they can tell really good stories. Because like you look at it now, like you look at the industry now, like we're beginning to notice names more. And I do genuinely believe like a lot of that comes down to like how well you, not only were you did a great performance in the game, but also just how well you handled yourself externally as well. It kind of also showed like players or gamers essentially that like, oh yeah, they don't just hire actors to look good. No, they can hire actors who know their shit.
It's also,
you know what I mean?
Actors are way more involved in game development than I think a lot of people realize. So my first response to that is that I find it very funny, because when I picture Ben's social media presence, I picture him dressed as Tifa.
Yeah. I know.
The seriousness that he brings to it, and I'm like, I think he brought a goofball to it, but I still respect the intent. But I do think that like there are I think there's an idea that a lot of actors just kind of walk into a booth and say some lines, and that certainly does exist for some roles. But I also think that people maybe underestimate how much the dev team is relying on the actors to help them flesh out characters. You are part of game development, and it's probably pretty understated, I think. Like, people really don't realize how much you can come in and say, well, here's what I've decided to do with the arc, and then the devs will literally change stuff because of that. They'll be like, that's a great idea, you've brought your expertise to this, which is building character and conveying emotion, and we're going to change parts of the script to align with that. And I think people really, like, I would consider actors to be external contractor game devs. as long as they are committed to working on a game. You are helping to develop the game.
They haven't been perceived like that though all
Agreed.
the time.
Yeah.
It certainly hasn't been something that I felt as a possibility. And
Do you mean in terms of perception or in terms of influence?
both. The way that we are seen, I think I have felt before now, even now, sometimes you're treated like you are post-production. You are lucky to be, you're going to get this, and then you're just going to go and add stuff onto the top. And it's nice that I'm now being considered for things outside of it, because I was very loud about loving games, and the proof is in what I've done. And I will continue to prove it, because I feel like people need to constantly be reminded of that. And also I like it. I actually like people looking at me. I was doing a game.
No.
Yes, I was doing a game yesterday, and I was working with the team, and I wasn't sure whether I was straight offered this role, and I was working on it, and I was like, okay, how do you know me? And they were acting me like they didn't really know my work, and I was like, okay, so how did this come about? And then they said, do you want to do more film and TV? And I said, no, I really love doing video games. And I said, I built this really great relationship between my fans and people who like my work, and I really love it. I said, it's more visceral than I ever have worked on TV. And they were like, oh, I don't know about that. And then we went out for lunch, and on the way back, got stopped twice at lunch. Twice by two different people, both who'd just played Expedition 33.
No way.
And it was this really crazy thing. That's never happened to me, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was this moment where they were like, oh, so actually, you weren't
that
lying.
video game thing, huh?
Yeah, that's really a thing, right? And it was a really cool thing to happen, and it was almost like I'd staged it. And I'm not saying that it's cool being recognized, but it's cool that people want to come up to you and say, that thing that I've just played, Expedition 33. And to be honest, I got it a bit with 16, but I've had it way more in a more condensed time with Clair Obscur.
That's interesting.
People want to come up to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting, especially because it's Final Fantasy is such a big franchise.
Okay, so maybe it's because Final Fantasy is so much bigger than an actor, and Expedition 33 intentionally in their marketing made the actors significant alongside the game.
Yeah, that was also a thing that they did, and I haven't seen a game company do it really, is the second trailer they ever released. Yeah. It was the cast announcement, so it was Andy Serkis, Jennifer English, Charlie Cox, Charlotte Nix,
huge
Ben
part of their
Starr,
marketing,
Kirsty Ryder. And I was so pleased when that came out, because I was the and at the end, which was really exciting.
Oh, you got an and.
I was like,
happen.
I was like, I'm an and. But it was a really cool thing, and they have been Sandful have been supportive of their actors the entire time, and they have sold a lot of the marketing on us being a part of it, because it's a new game. How do you get people excited? And ultimately, the game speaks for itself, right? It doesn't need actors. Like that would be a hit game regardless. But still,
no, it really definitely adds another level, man, because the narrative and the power of what you guys bring, and it's so funny. You're so right. Like I feel like, yes, okay, cool. They pulled out the Charlie Cox and. I think specifically with Charlie, actually, in the sense of like pulling them out and kind of being like, yeah, we got this guy on board, but really, truly, it was the full-fledged cast. You know what I mean? Like, it was like everyone was almost treated in an equal manner.
Yeah.
And it was then surprising that, Charlie did a good job. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
But it definitely, it makes sense to market that way. And I don't think it's overly common. But so my suggestion is that often, but not always, like I said, actors can be game devs. I would consider them to be game devs, depending on the project. And are you saying that you don't feel that way? Yeah.
I would say, ultimately, games, this is awful. Games is art? No, games is commerce. Games is selling stuff. And what's in the best interest of the game that you're working on. If the game wants to make money, then they don't really care about you. You're kind of an essential part that you're a job. You're a part of the cog in the machine. There are ones where you are, like Expedition 33 treated us like we were part of the team. Yeah. They invited us to Montpellier, took us out for dinner, included us, constantly gave us like updates of the scenes that we were doing. You haven't seen it yet, Alana, but the final scenes of the game. I was sick to death of seeing them, because I wasn't really, but they kept showing it to us as they were getting more and more updated. Like, they would send us G Drive files of like all the work that we'd done, of like how it's coming along.
No way.
That's cool.
Yeah. they were so collaborative, and they were like, "What do you think? What do you think?" And like, they've got this.
Oh my God.
I've got this thing on my phone of all the characters running around the world map. Guillaume made it for me with the music from Final Fantasy VIII because he knew how much I loved it. So he was like, "This is your first look at the world map with
That's
the Final
amazing.
Fantasy VIII music and the Ragnarok music playing over the top."
That's amazing.
So they were
Wow.
super collaborative. Other games, no, you don't, because often you just don't see the people who are making it. You don't see the devs. That's why I make a point to go out to the
And
fucking
actually,
devs.
Yeah.
Like I worked with right now lots of things can be said about Marathon. I went when I was in Seattle. I made sure to go to Bungie, and I was working on working with them in some capacity, whatever it's been announced at. So I was like, I'm going to go to the studio and meet people.
It's also just, it's such a unique thing for the dev team because like Rahul just went to the Housemark 20th anniversary party. And I briefed him beforehand to be like, be aware that everyone knows who you are. 100% of these people know who you are and see your face every day. And I was like, this isn't going to be you going to a party. This is going to be a room full of people who are extremely excited to meet you because you are the face of their fucking video game. It's like, it's not like he didn't know that, but I feel like I have that extra layer of perspective from working in SMS that even Corey would have had that experience because when he wasn't in the office all that often, but when he would come, everyone's like, oh my God, it's Corey, which is a very unique dynamic when it's the place that you work. So I think that like for the team, they all know who you are. They all know how you sound. They've heard your voice a million times. They're sick of hearing certain lines trigger in certain places. Like they've heard it so many times that it's kind of odd for you to be such a creative spearhead and be removed. Like basically my point being, I think many teams would very, very strongly appreciate that because they are your biggest fans for the whole however many fucking years that they have to make the game that you are part of. And maybe only a few of them get to meet you, but they are the ones like so excited to have you, so excited to hear you. They want your success more than anyone ever has on the entire planet. And so I feel like going to meet them is a great idea.
I remember Guillaume sending me, a creative director of Sandfall, sent me a message saying, is it all right if you can just like do a little video message for the team to because they'd like to see it and it'd be really cool. I was like, yeah, sure. And there were bits where like the team members, when Jen and I turned up to Montpellier, we turned up and again, everyone came up to meet us and it was all very, very kind of like, hello. And then as we were there over the weekend, more and more of the team got more confident and they would give us their Final Fantasy 16 Steelbook or their Baldur's Gate 3 special edition or whatever. And they were like, some of them hovering out the room like, we don't want to bother you. And I'm like, you are making a game that I'm in. I will sign anything you need.
Right.
When I was over in doing a thing with Tekken, I was over at Bandai Namco and I was there working with them. And there were people outside the door being like, can you sign
Again,
this?
they've
Is
seen
it
you
all right?
and
I'm
heard
like,
you
"No
all day,
way."
every
And I'm
day,
like,
you know?
Yeah.
They're the
they've
most
been working
hardcore
on-
fans you have until release. Like it's just them.
Yeah. And I was like, I'll sign anything. And they were like, are you sure? I went, yes, I will sign anything you want. And these people who have been working way harder on this game than I have, or have been an essential part of it, are just really excited because it's a different kind of relationship because the people who were at Bandai Namco, they'd been working on Tekken 8. So they had seen me for so long in all the promo materials and all that sort of stuff. And even if they'd not played Final Fantasy, they'd played Tekken 8 a lot. So, and they'd worked so hard on the launch of the Clive, enters Tekken 8 that's a thing that they've worked on. And now they're meeting a person who's creatively a part of it as well. So I was like, I'll sign your babies for you. Don't worry. What do you want?
It's also extremely helpful as a writer. I, on an NDA project, went out of my way to make sure that I met one of the actors. We had friends in common, so I just made the connection and spent the night with that person. Not in that way, just hung out of an evening.
Wow.
There were other people there. It was. Don't worry.
Oh, really?
I didn't.
What's that?
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, it was extremely helpful just to have access to an actor to hear them speak, hear the way that they emote, see the way that they emote is like a thing that often you don't get as a writer. You really usually only get to watch the shows that they're in or whatever. Like they'll just recommend, watch this, go watch this. Like this is how you'll get to know them. And that's very weird when you're writing a character for somebody. It is so, so, so helpful to get to meet a person that you are writing for. And I wonder if that would be the same for other departments like animation as well. Like it might even be helpful for art. Like I have no idea, but I can see them being like, oh, you carry yourself in a slightly different way than I expected, and then they can change things to fit that.
Yeah, I definitely think it would help, right? Because it's then you then build it around, like that's why you know, even when it comes to watching film and TV, it helps because you've got everything there working at the same. It makes sense, right? But like as a game, I think having that kind of connection would definitely help. I'm sure.
I a couple of maybe like a year ago, I was talking to a game company, and they hadn't written anything for the characters, and they were like, we potentially would like to call you in.
Wait, they spoke to you about a project before writing anything?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was a really interesting process that they said, we have a project and we are creating a character, and it's early days, and we would like to discuss the idea of working with you towards, you're not going to be the character. It's not guaranteed, but we'd like to workshop ideas with you.
Wow.
And then we can have a couple of days workshopping this character. And I thought, what a really fascinating way of doing it. Now, if you've got the budget to do it, that's a very cool thing. It ended up not coming to pass for various reasons. But I think what an interesting thing where actors aren't coming in year 3, year 4 of a project. We're coming in like ground level.
I'd love to have a single writer's room like with an actor on a project. Like
it's a bit like how they like some plays when they do like workshops where they workshop a play.
Yes,
right?
R&D like at the National, where they do that with like a week at the National Theatre, where someone writes a play and then they act it out and they workshop it and go around. It's
interesting.
It's really useful.
Yeah, especially if you want to kind of, again, that's just not how the video game industry works. But it would be fascinating to be like, well, we've got a character and we would like this actor to be involved in workshopping with them, having a team of writers there and a team of actors in a week or 2 weeks, basically incubating them and going, let's see what we can come up with, and building the characters around that, because it could be really interesting.
Yeah, I like the idea of it, especially because like depending on the project, obviously, like even for Layers Deep, the game I'm writing that we have no actual dialogue. It's like Banjo-Kazooie sounds. I still have full character docs. Like they're full,
right.
you know, I have character bios for every, even NPC. And I have my own lore. Like no one will really see any of that, but that's just like effectively world building to flesh out. And like having that with a performer at that stage, like if I were doing it while writing the character bio or whatever, would be extremely useful. I think doing it later would be difficult because there are so many things that people who aren't on a dev team will ask. I'm sure you've had this, Abu, where it's like, yeah, here's why. Like you have answers to every single thing someone will bring up. And that could, I think, end up being not a great use of time. If it was like 3 years in, you've got the story already, they've been cast, you've started, and then if you did it too late, basically people will always ask questions, and because you've been working on something for hundreds of hours at that point, there are always a million answers to every single thing. Like even, you know, if you see someone post on Reddit like, why didn't this game do this? Trust me, they thought about it, and there was a reason they couldn't do it, and like it would end up being, I think, a lot of explaining why things couldn't be a certain way in a way that's very tedious and boring. Sometimes writing video games is really technical. It's like a lot of just, well, animation couldn't afford it.
Do you find, I mean, ultimately a game is good if the game is good. like the narrative can be, you know, there are different levels of how video games can work and how you can interact with them, but often, you know, there are narrative games which are solely narrative, but I also think that, you know, coming a little bit back to Expedition 33, the reason it's good is the combat's good. Like the game loop works, and there are other aspects that also sing and enhance that, but if they forgot to put the game in, then it wouldn't be good. It would just kind of be like a turgid slog through that. And I think games work when the game works. I think sometimes a game can have a fantastic narrative, but it's not really compelling to see from beginning to end because the customization doesn't work or the gameplay loop isn't interesting and whatever. But it's the game that has all of those things and enables us to want to engage with that narrative and understanding that in this medium, gameplay, I think, is king. There is only so much tolerance you can have for a walking simulator. As good as certain games are, which I absolutely love, like Gone Home, I think is amazing.
Well,
but it also has
exactly what I was going to say is Gone Home, but that's because, and this is like my number one agenda as a game developer, is storytelling through action rather than through cutscenes. I'm not saying I want to get rid of games that have cutscenes, but the most storytelling that I can do without having to lock somebody into a cutscene, the better. And I think Gone Home, genuinely before you said it, is the one that popped into my head where, yeah, it's a walking simulator, but the story is through the tone the whole way through without a cutscene. And you feel that tone the whole way through. And I think that's like a huge strength of that particular game where it's, I write video games for a living. That's what I do. And I really like doing it. But the thing that I care about the most in games pretty consistently, the thing that takes a game from like pretty good to holy shit, I love this game for me is level design. So if a narrative is bad, I genuinely don't usually care that much as long as it doesn't get in the way. Like if it's not, if it's breaking up the gameplay in a way that I'm like, I don't really care about this, then I'm going to dislike it. But otherwise I don't need it to be good. It's just great when it is. I know that feels very strange again as a writer, but it's like, I really like good level design. That's the thing that keeps me engaged in video games.
That's because you're doing it, right? And that's because you're exploring it. Like you are like good level design. It just flows with it, and naturally you're in it, and you're moving through it. It's like it's like when you look at theme parks, for example, they're very well designed, and they are purposely like you can go this way, but then there's a shortcut this way, and that's like part of the fun of it all. And I feel like I totally agree with that. I think
it's always important for everyone. I think my thing is just good level design takes a game from good to amazing to me. Like I fucking love Dishonored 2, and the reason is the level design in that game. It is just so good. And it like something about memorable level design just really sticks out in my head. And I think everyone probably has different versions of those. I'm sure there are players who really just care about stories. I'm sure that exists, but it can't be majority of them because then you'd just be watching a movie.
Yeah, right? That's it.
Like the Souls games have the best level design that tells a story.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the beauty of what FromSoft do, is like the level design is the story. And then you'll probably get, and then in doing so, they'll give you an item at the end that Vati Video will tell you what it means.
Thank God for Vati. Where would we be without him?
Oh man!
Oh my God, I loved Bloodborne, one of my favorite games I've ever made. It became one of my favorite games after I watched everything that Vati Video did. It just elevated it to a new level where I went,
they should be paying him, man. Like we're all like, "Where's the Vati video?"
I know, right?
Come on,
where's the Vati video? Like I'm there waiting. I was like, I remember when Shadow of the Erdtree came out. I was just waiting for this.
It's not a FromSoft game release without that companion piece. Like it's so important. Yeah. It's crazy. Like what a cool thing he's done. But I think the reason I like FromSoft games is I like the thing that always stands out to them for me is actually character design. I find so much delight in walking around the corner at a FromSoft game and then seeing some fucking crazy, very well animated thing that I never would have expected. Like I find that delightful. I was like, what the fuck is this new thing that's appeared here, and what is it going to do? Less so the narrative, because it's at least the first playthrough usually not even evident to me. I don't know if that's a hot take.
It's the Shadow of the Erdtree boss, not bosses. It's the bit where you walk into the area and they're all the hands just running at you the entire time. I'm like, not this, lads. No
but
way.
It's that every time,
way.
It's so impressive how they do that. But yeah, basically, I think that if a game has a good story, it's very hard to do, right? Because that has to be all departments working together, and it's just so many instances of studios who design levels and then hire writers. I can't even imagine working on a project like that. Like, I what a nightmare that you have to find a way to fit the story into the gameplay that's already there. Fuck me, that would suck. And that's why so many of them can often be very held back because they're not given priority. And the studios that do have good stories usually are prioritizing story. Santa Monica Studio starts with writing first. Naughty Dog starts with writing first. They're notorious for having good stories. Like, it's such a privilege to have worked at one of those studios. I feel like I probably have trouble going to a AAA studio working on like a Call of Duty where that is what they do. They usually have the story after they have the levels. It would be so fucking difficult. But a good story, I think, can hugely elevate an experience, but isn't technically necessary. You don't have to have
there's some stories can be rubbish, but it's the way that the stories are told that can be interesting. And I think God of War is a great example. The first one, and Abu and I have spoken about this, is the moment when Atreus starts not listening
Obeying
to your
you,
commands,
yeah.
obeying you.
I hated him.
I
I
think
hated
he's-
him so much.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the simplest and best narrative gameplay moments I've ever experienced in a game. I just think it's so clever. Of like the thing that has been so easy for you, and then he becomes a little shit and stops obeying you, and I'm like, you're fucking this up, little dude.
Yeah.
You're fucking this up for
And
us.
that is storytelling through gameplay. And I love when
Yeah.
video game stories can reflect the character's emotions and the player's emotions at the same time. If they can make you feel through gameplay the way that the character should be feeling, that's what I think we should all be striving to do. I love that.
It's so good. It's so good.
Last of Us Part 2, I think, does an exceptional job of that. Like, people will talk about that the Joel moment and how angry it made them and how they felt disrespected by Naughty Dog. And I'm like, yeah, they really wanted you to fucking hate her. That's the point. They want you to want to destroy her. That's why it's presented in the incredibly brutal way that it's presented. It's like very intentional, trying to make you as angry as possible so that story, that you feel the same way Ellie does while going
Sells
through
and
that.
it resonates. Yeah.
It would be good to talk about Expedition 33 off content so we can kind of talk about that, but that's another intentional thing.
Well, I'd be down to do a spoiler cast. I just have to finish it. Like, if you want to, if you're down.
Well, I'm just
to, I'd love to.
specifically talking about the conclusion of Act 1 and the way in what that happens, and it's very interesting the choices that they made there. And it's a similar thing where I genuinely thought that people might just stop playing after that moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I know we can't talk about it, but like it's bold. It's a bold swing in the same way where some people love it, some people really dislike it. They really dislike it.
I think that's better than not caring
Exactly.
across the board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's you know, you need to feel stakes in that way, and if a game can make you do that, I think another great one is What Remains of Edith Finch. I think the cannery section in What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the great story gameplay moments. I just think if you can do that, it's so perfect.
Like I said, I
because
think it's
it
what we should
makes
all be
you
striving for. Parody. Like, even, again, The Last of Us Part 2, people say that game drags. It does. So is their revenge story. It drags. It drags them to hell, and they're all tired and fucking bored of it. And I love that, like, you know, even if it can be an unpleasant experience, that you feel the same way the characters do, I think is a huge strength.
I was talking to someone at a barbecue over the weekend, and he's been watching the TV show, and he went, "God, they're playing the guitar a lot. Why are they playing the guitar? Does it have any reason?" I went, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
yeah. It
sure
really does." And at the end of the game, especially, you're like, "That's just good storytelling through gameplay." That moment where oh my god,
it's so brutal.
So-
It's just so, the guitar thing is like, wow, fuck me, I guess. Like, it's just so brutal. Oh,
just
but
like speaking to this lovely gay couple at a barbecue, it's just a lot of guitar. Is that gonna like?
No,
happen
you'll be
again?
fine.
I'm like,
You'll be. Don't worry about that. Yeah,
Don't worry about it. Nothing. No problems whatsoever. No, it's just
yeah, it's rough. But I think I'm playing Doom: The Dark Ages and currently not loving the cutscenes in a way that, like, it's not like it's bad. They've done something different, which I really, really appreciate. It's just that I feel like it's breaking up the gameplay that I'm enjoying so much. And I think as I play more, kind of want to analyze why I feel that way about this particular game. It's like, why am I taking it as, you stopped me from playing the game though? And I think it's maybe
do you feel like something's been taken away? Yeah, because Doom's rip and tear, right? That's what you do. It's all the combat chests, and then he's like, don't stop that.
All I need to do is rip and tear at all times, and I'm happy with the Doom game, right? But I'm also so early that it's like entirely possible that I will end up more attached to these characters in this world. But right now, I'm just like, let me rip and tear, and so it feels.
Most of the time, and like early doors, they always just that's where most of the cutscenes are anyway, right? Yeah. So like right at the beginning of the game, and then suddenly you get into it, and it's like less and less and less.
Yeah.
Do you know it's another gameplay storytelling moment that I absolutely love? Spec Ops: The Line.
Oh my god, what a game!
That's a modern classic.
It is. So I was talking to Ben about this before we started recording, that my next YouTube video is about Last of Us Part 2, and I have a bit about Spec Ops: The Line where I was like, should I spoil this? And I was like, I'm not going to, just because I want to encourage people to play it. Spec Ops: The Line and I think BioShock both do a very similar thing with that, where it's like, consider your actions. But the thing about Spec Ops, they were like the first to do it. They did it so well. But it's also a line in the sand. No one has ever... You experience Spec Ops The Line and you go, holy shit, that's awesome. But nobody has any different opinion on it. Like, we all feel the exact same way. So I appreciate a game like that presents you with a point and you take the point away and you go, fair enough. That's probably most games. Whereas I think there are challenges in something like The Last of Us where everyone has a different takeaway. It's like just totally different uses of the same kind of same kind of mechanic.
It evokes such a reaction from you that you have to choose a line, whether you like it or you don't.
Totally. Spec Ops, the line. Like, we know what the line is, and everyone feels that way. And it's what a banger, man.
Challenging and ambiguous questions are really interesting. I think The Witcher 3 has just celebrated 10 years. I find some of the challenges in The Witcher 3. I think the crookback bog section of The Witcher 3, where you can decide.
So fucking good.
So fucking good. God. And it hasn't been bettered in many ways.
No, I agree.
Remind me what that section is again?
It's basically where you save the kids, destroy the town, save the kids, essentially. It's like sacrifice the children that you've gone to save the town. And it's the few versus the many versus the few. The first it's before Bloody Baron, lead up to that. And I think it's a really interesting concept because you've gone to get the crones.
The crones. Yeah.
And I think it's a really challenging. There isn't really any kind of like fallout from it, but all you get is kind of, how do I feel about this? Yeah. Where does my empathy lie in this? Who am I doing it for, and why am I doing it? And it's a fantastic question because there isn't a right answer. It's just genuine.
No, and I love that. Like, if a game could give you, because you have to do the thing, you have to actively participate. You're doing it. So I think obviously, again, Spec Ops is so good, and I also love that. Like, I love that there are both versions of this, which is like what you did is this, and then there is you fucking did this. Think about it. Just have a think about it. It's not telling you how to feel. It's just reflect. Just have a little introspective moment. And I think that, again, that's a very unique video game storytelling thing that I find to be very strong, and I wish we would see more of it.
I know that we were kind of moving away from, now we're getting to the nerd shit, right? About like the games that we like as opposed to performance in it. But how do you feel about just choice in games in general? Like, do you feel like the idea of, I'm always fascinated by when you go on to IGN and they go, this is how you get the true ending.
Yeah.
And it's like, what does that, I don't know what they mean by that. Like, sometimes games don't have an ending. Sometimes but like this idea that it has to be a canon ending to something. I'm like, I quite like making the crap ending. Like I remember living with someone, we were playing Witcher 3 at the same time, and he loved the way his Witcher 3 ended up with like, it was ostensibly the bad ending, which was like Geralt alone, no friends. And he was like, that was my Geralt. It's a mutual friend of ours, Abu. And he was like, oh, my Geralt was sad and lonely. And I'm like, good for you. My Geralt had a lovely time.
All right, I have to run.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, see you, everybody.
I'm
just gonna say, when is this going? This will be up next week, so we will see you. Are either of you coming to LA? I know you are, Ben. Are you coming, Abu, to Summer Game Fest at all?
Maybe, I don't know. It depends on what I'm filming. Okay. To be honest, it's like I'm still stuck on Dragons at the moment.
Horrible TV show that you work on.
Is
it going to be good? Is it going to be a good show for us?
It's going to be insane.
Excellent.
Okay. Wow.
Very cool. Very cool.
Amilia Clarke came back to film those scenes.
She came back to what? That's nuts.
She came back to burn it all to the ground.
Again?
They had to get rid of
time
that
travel.
Mustache. It was insane.
That's wild.
Oh, incredible. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ben, where can people find you? What are you up to?
My address is
and
my phone number is, I don't know, just like have a quick look.
Bit of a gander.
Can you have a quick look? I'm in some games at the moment, and yeah, just enjoy me.
All right.
Enjoy me.
Will do. Abu, how about
Oh
you?
no! Oh!
Too late. Sorry, Ben. We've moved on.
No, shush now. Shush now. Abu got to ruin House of the Dragon. I get one more go.
Okay.
If anyone likes Dungeons and Dragons, I play Dungeons and Dragons. Also, come to Magic Con. I'm going to Magic Con because I recently unveiled a load of Magic cards at PAX. I really revealed all the Final Fantasy ones. Come and see. I'm going to do more.
When is Magic this year?
I don't know.
I've
June.
been multiple times. It's very fun.
Las Vegas. Come say hi. It's been really fun. I've been able to present a 2-hour show for Magic the Gathering.
Cool.
About revealing all the Final Fantasy cards. And I got to reveal my Final Fantasy card, my Magic card on my own t-shirt. So that was
amazing.
Sick. Very
It was
cool.
so silly.
What a weird life you live. Abu, what are you doing? Where can people find you?
Well, just my address is
Yeah, go
basic.
ahead.
No.
We'll post them in the...
we'll just
addresses
yeah,
will be in the
we'll
links
just-
in the description.
Yeah, no. I'm filming. I'm filming at the moment. I'm filming season 3 of House of the Dragon, which is
Don't bother
amazing.
him.
It's great. So just don't talk to me. No, but when is this going to be released? By the way, when is this episode?
This will be
When
released
you aim it.
on the 30th.
On the 30th. Amazing. Well, hey guys, keep your eyes peeled because something's about to drop.
But
Very
not
soon.
yet.
Not yet. No,
Okay,
like,
not yet
but,
on the
like,
30th.
It's going to drop
Very,
soon.
very
just,
vague.
Just have a watch. You know what I mean? It's just keep your eyes peeled.
Excited.
Okay? That's what I'm saying.
Daenerys back
That's
to
all I'm saying,
life.
man.
She coming back
Keep
to life,
your eyes
babe.
peeled. All right, we'll see you next month, everybody. Bye.